Last Men in Aleppo. Syria, madness, complicated to the point of incomprehensibility. Why would anyone stay there and do what these men are doing? Would you not go mad living in such a torture chamber? Well, these men, members of the White Helmets, a sort of civil defense team in Aleppo, Syria, certainly were not mad. They rushed out to bomb sites to pull babies out from under huge concrete blocks, fragments of buildings, actually, that really should have crushed anyone. But once in a while, someone would live. And then the rescued body is rushed to the hospital where everyone available fights to keep that soul alive. Such is the stuff of men. We value life. We feel it is worth living and saving. Even in this living horror that is an ancient city, the irony that this is a war centered around religious beliefs is blatant. It disgusts many. The determination of men to survive, to save, to honor life gives one pause. This film was written and directed by Feras Fayyad, a Syrian from Aleppo. It was produced by Karim Abdeid and also a Danish filmmaker, Soren Stein Jespersen.
It's called Last Man in Aleppo. We have the director and co-director, editor here right now, Feras Fayyad and Steen Johansson. Both of your first times in Sundance?
First time, yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And just explain to me the plot, the background of the film Last Man in Aleppo.
The idea started like in 2014 about how we can tell a story about the humanitarian worker. And then later we developed the idea to follow White Helmets, a group from White Helmets. And we're thinking about how we can more focus, not just about a White Helmet as a group. We need to focus about this is people as a human being, as people have a family, a life behind the war, behind their dangerous work. Because the sadness that we saw in Syria, this is people, they sacrifice in their life, they risk in their life to save the others, and they killed from the Russian bombing and Assad regime and his earliest bombing, and leave behind them like a lot of families, children, wives, mothers, and they being alone.
This movie just pins you to the wall. The Syrian war was and is hell on earth, and we experience it in this film, and in a most insightful way. The director, who is in his early 30s, was imprisoned by the Assad regime twice, so he now is in exile and lives in Denmark with his wife and child. He does not want the world to forget about Syria, and how quickly we do forget all these wars. He wants his film seen. This year it's nominated for an Academy Award, so it will certainly get the attention it deserves. The whole horrible slaughter that was the Aleppo that we see in this film is over now. And the Assad regime is putting out propaganda film, and you can see some of it on YouTube, to show beautiful reconstruction of that part of the city. There is an entire portion of the city to rebuild. How many citizens will actually return? But here, as we watch, we slowly get to know the men and their families who stubbornly and heartbreakingly pursued the search and rescue missions of the internationally recognized White Helmets. The organization consisting of just ordinary citizens. For instance, the prominent one was a construction worker. His partner, Mahmoud, was a student. So these were just citizens who were the first to rush towards military strikes and attacks in the hope of just saving one life. The documentary highlights the lives of really 3 of the White Helmets, and they founded it. Khalid Omar Hara is really the leading character. He is the one we see the most. Sabi al-Hussan, we see him least, and Mahmoud, we see a great deal of him too. We watch them play with their children, live their actual, almost surreal lives, as death is just around the corner at any moment. Should they stay in Aleppo or leave the country and become migrants like so many? We often wonder why masses of people would leave their homes to wander Europe and lose everything. Here, we get an explanation of why. Unremitting bombing, the total destruction of their homes, lives, country. It's interesting to think, what would you do? Either decision is almost impossible to endorse. Famous rock and hard place, really. But decisions have to be made in circumstances that we see here. The most difficult and painful aspect of this torturous film is the view of a reality that we watch as we see life going on as life always does in areas with explosions, fire, dismembered humans, death. Children are still being born. People still have to eat and sleep and walk. Khalid buys goldfish for his children. He sneaks away from a rally of political fervor, and he talks on the phone to his young daughter. Life goes on until it doesn't. The film won the World Documentary Grand Jury Prize at the 2017 Sundance Film Festival.
Yes, 2 years. Hard, tough footage. Brave cinematographer. We are Syrian. We are not ashamed in this world. We do our best to fight for the freedom of speech, for the humanity, for the justice. We do all our best to change for the best. And we hope, I trust in the people in US, they can change, they can fight like our fight. Before I coming to Sundance, I was telling my very close friend, Steen, the fish eyes can't forget this is during seed that happened in Syria. But also the fish eyes is help to change everything around us to the best, because we are believe in each other. We will stand to next each other because we are need the freedom and justice and justice and justice.
I just want to send my great thanks to our photographers in Aleppo, who, when you see the film, you will know that they risked their lives many times to give us these images to work with, and we are so grateful for that. Also, I want to send out a plea to some of you out there who are part of the American industry. We want to have this film shown here. We want to have it out. And maybe we need help with this. And I hope there's someone out here who will see the film, talk to us, and help us get it out there. Yes. Thank you.
To get these extraordinary scenes, they devised a method of using local people to film while they remained at a removed position away from the bombing sites, communicating when possible via voice message as they monitored the footage. This is unusual, but was required due to the common practice of double explosions. We've heard about these. First they drop a bomb, then they wait, and when the rescue people and other people have arrived to help people, a second bomb goes off, and that is intended to totally demoralize all rescue efforts. But still, the white helmets persisted right to the end. Included in this class, you'll find a large number of print articles, interviews, discussions of the film, which will complete the very complicated story that we've witnessed. Surely, this is as sobering, infuriating, ghastly, and sad. Yet, also, it is inspiring. It's a beautiful account of human activity as film could possibly present. It's therefore, of course, highly valuable and to be honored by all of us.